There are people who can walk into a room, talk to you for 10 minutes, and by the end, you feel like you've known them your entire life. You trust them. You open up to them. You let your guard down. And you have no idea why. But they do. Because trust is not something that just happens. It's engineered. In the next 9 minutes, you're going to learn 5 dark psychology tricks that manipulators, salespeople, narcissists, and charismatic leaders use to make people trust them instantly. I'll show you exactly how each one works, why your brain falls for them, and how to spot them before they hook you. And once you see how it works, you'll never be manipulated the same way again. The first trick is mirroring. This is one of the most powerful psychological tools for building instant rapport, and most people have no idea it's happening to them. Here's how it works. When someone mirrors you, they subtly copy your body language, your tone of voice, your speech patterns, even your breathing rhythm. You lean forward, they lean forward a few seconds later. You cross your arms, they cross theirs. You speak slowly and calmly, they match your pace. You use certain words or phrases, they echo them back. And your brain registers this subconsciously as, this person is like me. And humans are hardwired to trust people who are like them. This goes back to tribal psychology. Thousands of years ago, people who looked like you, moved like you, talked like you, were probably part of your tribe. And tribe members were safe. So when someone mirrors you today, your ancient brain thinks, safe, familiar, trustworthy. This is not accidental. Skilled manipulators do this intentionally. They study you in the first 30 seconds, pick up your patterns, and reflect them back to you like a psychological mirror. And because it feels natural, you never question it. Here's a real-world example. Job interviews. The best candidates don't just answer questions well. They mirror the interviewer. If the interviewer is formal and structured, they match that energy. If the interviewer is relaxed and conversational, they adapt. And subconsciously, the interviewer feels, this person fits our culture. I like them. The dark part? Even when you know someone is mirroring you, it still works. Because the effect happens below conscious awareness. Your brain processes the similarity before your logic catches up. So how do you defend against it? Watch for over-mirroring. If someone is matching you too perfectly, too quickly, in ways that feel slightly robotic or unnatural, they're not being authentic. They're playing you. The second trick is strategic vulnerability. This is where someone shares something personal early in the conversation, something that makes them seem open, honest, raw, and real. You'll hear phrases like, I'm not usually this open with people, but can I be honest with you? I've been struggling with, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I feel like I can trust you. And immediately, your brain thinks, wow, they trust me. I should trust them back. This is called reciprocal disclosure. It's a psychological principle that says, when someone shares something vulnerable with you, you feel psychologically obligated to match that level of openness. So you share something personal. You let your guard down. You give them real information about your fears, insecurities, past trauma, desires. And now, they have leverage. The dark part is this. Their vulnerability was calculated. They didn't share something that actually makes them vulnerable. They shared something safe, something carefully chosen, something designed to trigger your empathy and make you feel special, while extracting real vulnerability from you. Narcissists do this constantly. They trauma dump early in relationships to hook your empathy and compassion. Then they use everything you share against you later when they need control. Here's a real example. First date. The person shares a sad story about their childhood. A past betrayal, a struggle they overcame. It feels deep. It feels real. It feels like connection. So you reciprocate. You share your own wounds. But later, you realize they never actually shared anything that put them at risk. Their story was vague, rehearsed, safe. But your story? They remember every detail. And they'll use it when they need to manipulate you. So how do you spot strategic vulnerability? Ask yourself 2 questions. 1. Did I ask for this information? Or did they volunteer it out of nowhere? If it feels like they're performing vulnerability instead of naturally opening up, they probably are. 2. Does their vulnerability create obligation in me? If you suddenly feel like you owe them openness, trust, or emotional support just because they shared something, that's a red flag. Real vulnerability doesn't demand reciprocity. Strategic vulnerability does. The third trick is calibrated eye contact. Eye contact is one of the fastest ways to build trust and intimacy. But there's a science to it. Too little eye contact. You seem shifty, untrustworthy, insecure, weak. Too much eye contact? You seem aggressive, invasive, creepy, threatening. But the perfect amount? That creates deep intimacy and trust. Skilled manipulators know this formula. They hold eye contact for exactly 3 to 5 seconds. Then they break it naturally by looking down or to the side. Then they come back. This creates a rhythm. It feels natural, not forced. And when they do look at you, they don't just stare blankly. They look at you like they're studying you, like you're the most fascinating person in the room. This activates something psychologists call the spotlight effect. Your brain interprets focused attention as a signal of attraction, importance, or value. So when someone gives you that level of eye contact, you feel seen. You feel valued. And people trust those who make them feel valued. There's also a neurological component here. Sustained eye contact triggers the release of oxytocin, the so-called bonding hormone. Oxytocin is released during hugging, sex, breastfeeding. It creates feelings of safety, connection, and trust. So when someone holds eye contact with you in that perfect, calibrated way, your brain literally releases chemicals that make you trust them. Here's where it gets dark. This can be completely fake. They don't actually care about you. They're not genuinely fascinated by you. They're just using eye contact as a tool to lower your psychological defenses. How do you spot fake eye contact? Watch their eyes when you're not the one talking. Are they scanning the room for someone more important? Are they checking their phone the second you look away? Does their attention completely disappear when you're not actively useful to them? If yes, their eye contact was a tactic, not genuine interest. Real interest is consistent. Fake interest is performed. The fourth trick is name repetition. Using someone's name in conversation creates an instant subconscious bond. It signals familiarity, respect, and personal connection. Listen to how skilled communicators do this. That's a really great point, Sarah. I totally understand what you mean, John. Thanks so much for sharing that, Alex. And every single time you hear your own name, your brain lights up. Literally. Neurological studies show that hearing your own name activates the medial prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain associated with self-referential thinking. It triggers a small dopamine release. And dopamine feels good. So every time someone uses your name, You get a micro hit of pleasure. You feel acknowledged. You feel important. You feel seen. And subconsciously, you start to associate that good feeling with the person saying your name. Salespeople are trained to do this. Manipulators do this instinctively. Narcissists weaponize this constantly. And it works. Studies show that when someone uses your name repeatedly in a conversation, you're significantly more likely to agree with them, buy from them, trust them, open up to them, comply with their requests. Here's a dark example. Cults. Cult leaders use name repetition obsessively during recruitment. David, you're so perceptive. David, I can see you're someone who really thinks deeply. David, you belong here. And David's brain starts associating the cult leader with feeling valued and understood. So how do you defend against this? Count. If someone uses your name more than 3 or 4 times in a 10-minute conversation, and it feels slightly unnatural or excessive, they're using it as a tactic. Real conversation don't require constant name dropping. Manipulative ones do. The 5th and final trick is me too, empathy. This is where someone responds to almost everything you say with a version of, "Oh my God, me too." You mention you love a certain movie? That's literally my favorite too. You talk about a struggle you're facing? I went through the exact same thing. You share a belief or value? I've always believed that too. And your brain registers this as, we have so much in common. This person gets me. This is fate. This is connection. But here's the brutal truth. They don't actually have those things in common with you. They're agreeing with you strategically to build false rapport and trust. This is called false consensus. They make you believe you share the same experiences, values, tastes, and worldview. So you feel safe, understood, and deeply connected. And once that emotional bond is formed, they can influence you, sell to you, or manipulate you much more easily. The scary part? Some people are so skilled at this, they can mirror any personality type. Introverted, they become quiet and thoughtful. Extroverted, they become energetic and expressive. Intellectual, they suddenly care deeply about philosophy. Spiritual, they've always felt a connection to the universe. They become whoever you need them to be. And by the time you realize they don't actually stand for anything, you're already emotionally invested. Here's how to test for this. Ask follow-up questions. If they claim they love the same movie as you, ask them about a specific scene or character. If they say they went through the same struggle, ask for concrete details. Watch what happens. If they deflect, change the subject, give vague answers, or suddenly can't remember, they were lying. Real shared experiences have details. Fake ones evaporate under scrutiny. Now, here's the most disturbing part. Even after learning all of this, these tricks still work. Why? Because they target the subconscious part of your brain, the part that evolved millions of years before logic and reasoning. Your conscious mind might recognize the mirroring, the strategic vulnerability, the calibrated eye contact. But your emotional, instinctive brain is still responding to the social signals. You can know someone is using these tactics and still feel the pull, still feel the warmth, still feel the trust building. That's how powerful they are. The only real defense is awareness plus intentional distance. When you spot these tactics being used on you, don't just acknowledge them mentally and move on. Create space. Slow down the interaction. Don't make decisions in the moment. Ask yourself, Am I trusting this person because of who they actually are? Or because of what they're doing to manipulate my brain? That question alone can save you. Trust is not magic. It's not luck. It's not chemistry. It's psychology. And the people who seem naturally charismatic, naturally likable, naturally trustworthy, they're not natural. They're trained. They know exactly how to mirror you, how to weaponize vulnerability, how to hold eye contact just long enough, how to make you feel seen, heard, and understood. And they do it all while extracting information, loyalty, influence, and control from you. So now you have a choice. You can use this knowledge to protect yourself, to spot manipulation before it hooks you, to never be an easy target again. Or you can use these tools strategically and ethically to build real, genuine connections with people who actually matter. Just remember, these are tools. They're neutral. It's your intention that makes them light or dark.